Two.
Tonight is Thursday, October 12th, 2017. Tonight on Gayxyz, Trump says that NBC is reporting fake news. We're going to talk about that. Dove apologizes for a soap ad that came off as a little racist. Harvey Weinstein is a scumbag. And Will and Grace. All that and more tonight on Gayxyz, bitches.
Life's a movie, let the camera roll. Fast life moving, ain't no going slow. That's right, baby, you already know. Hope you're ready, steady, rockin'. Let it go, get bold, I just can't hold back and forth, cause I'm the girl with soul. In control and effects, so what the heck? Rock the discotheque, is this groove is the next. Tease on the camera, freeze while I animate. I know amateur, I'ma laminate. I'ma assassinate all the imitates. Then I'ma take a break and meditate. Let me think about it. Put my little noodle on a problem, then I drink about it. Drink a little, swig a little, sip a little, spill a little, feel a little loopy when I get a little tipsy. Bees got me feeling like a gypsy. Smoking on a hookah got me feeling like a hippie. Trip it. Gone for a minute if you miss me now. Fergie back with a bag full of trixies. Why? Life's a movie. Let the camera roll. Fast life moving. Ain't no going slow. That's right, baby. You already know. Hope you're ready, steady, rockin'. This is how we do. 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 Yo. Hey yo, let it go, let's go. I keep a bar like Esco. I wanna ball where the nets go. I'm on stage, you can stand where the guests go. Bitches is my sons, they don't wanna leave the nest though. They like, where the ref go? I got these hoes scared to pass, I got that intercept flow. I made a movie like Seth Row. And since I came in the game, they careers on death row. Damn, they ain't seen young Nicki in a week. 5 shows made 3 million a week. You are now looking at the best, the elite. Too bad you can't go and invest in critiques. I'm thick and petite, tell them quick pick a seat. I pull up in a ghost, no she's trick or treat. I know they on E, but I don't give a F though. Bad attitude, but my is the best though. Life's a movie, let the camera roll. Fast life moving, ain't no going slow. That's right, baby, you already know. Hope you're ready, steady, rockin'. This is how we do it. 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 Come, get some, you little bums. Dudes want the cake, but they can't get a crumb from the original sexual, visual, dope chick and all that good shit. Charismatic when I'm at it. When I add it up, I'm mathematic, baby. Top game, I'm out the attic. There you have it, no dramatics, hold the static. Pose for the camera, daddy, I'm voguing. Baby, I'm glamorous and unfolding. Grammys and AMAs, I'm holding. Amazing the way I keep shit frozen. Cool, that's true. Got new shoes and a new attitude. Got my hair did, got a new hairdo. Come and see me at a venue near you. I said, watch me. I said, watch me. When I drop it, just watch and learn, baby. Watch and learn, baby. It's hot, it burns, so I drop it. Oh, baby, watch me. When I drop it, you didn't know I could drop it like that, did you? You didn't know I could drop it like that, did you? Life's a movie, let the camera roll. Fast life moving, ain't no going slow. That's right, baby, you already know. Hope you're ready, steady, rockin'. This is how we do it. Come on, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yeah, this is how we do it. Yeah, this is how we do it. 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 Make some noise for my girl Fergie Ferg.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Gayxyz. It's your host, Donovan. And, wait, what's your name?
Don't do, you better not do it again.
Jason. That's it.
You know what?
I'm telling you, I'm getting like early onset Alzheimer's or something. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, welcome to the show. Hey, everybody who's in the chat room. William, thanks. What's up? And Jason, how are you tonight?
I'm good. There may be an opening after tonight's show because you keep forgetting my fucking name. So there may be open auditions after tonight.
You can't take it personally.
I may voluntarily quit.
You can't take it personally. I forget my dog's name sometimes. I'm like talking to my dog and I'm like, what's her name? You know. So anyway, we're back. It's Thursday. We're a little bit late tonight. We got a late start. I had things to do, and Jason was a little busy today, so we started a little later than usual. But we're here. It's Thursday. It is 10:40.
Right, we didn't forget about you guys.
No, in Dallas, Texas, 2017, October the 12th. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th. Are you superstitious about Friday the 13th, Jason?
No.
I'm not either.
Never have.
I'm not either. Actually, 13 in several religions, including Kabbalah and other religions like that, and Jewish religions and stuff, is a good number. It's a very positive number. That's why they have bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs at 13. They have quinceañeras at 13, I think. Or if it's at 15, I'm not sure. Whatever. Anyway, the point is 13.
I'm not superstitious. I'm not superstitious about Friday the 13th. I'm more afraid of New Year's Eve than I am anything.
Yeah. Because it's a new year? Or what do you mean?
No, because I'm afraid when people shoot their guns at midnight,
people act crazy.
I'm afraid that I'm going to get hit by a falling bullet.
Yeah, people act like crazy. Well, that's the same thing with Halloween, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. You know, are you doing anything for Halloween this year, or what?
Nope, nothing special.
No.
I never really celebrate Halloween. I really never do anything for Halloween.
Oh, even as a kid?
I mean, I would go like trick or treating and go to Halloween parties, but I feel like I'm too old for that shit now.
Well,
I mean, unless it's like adult where they have like drinks and shit. Yeah, I mean, because people do that all the time.
What
now,
else do you think I'm talking about? Of course, that's what I mean.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't mean go trick or treating for God's sakes. I mean, hello, you're a little old for that. So
that's what listen. I used to trick or treat all the way up until the 10th grade.
Oh wow.
And because my neighborhood gave out a shitload of candy.
Oh, really?
Like it would last me for weeks.
Diabetic Central.
Yes, it was. And they used to give out the good shit too, not that cheap dollar bag of candy. I mean, they used to give out like Baby Ruth, Snickers, Nerds. I mean, they give out some good shit in my neighborhood. I said, okay, let me go on and rack up.
Well, you know, when I was a kid, we would give away full candy bars, not just the little mini things. We would give like a full Snickers or a full Baby Ruth, whatever. We would, and a full whatchamacallit or whatever. I mean, full boxes of stuff. We didn't just give a little bitty shit. So I don't know. We were special, I guess, but that's why people like to come to our house, I guess, when I was little. But they, yeah. And then with some years, go ahead.
Remember when they used to give away like fruit?
Yeah, I almost said that. I was about to say some years my grandmother would make candy apples and stuff when you could still actually give actual food that you've made to people as kids. These days you can't do that because nobody
can't do it because they may have razor blades in them.
That was even then it was like a thing, but all we did was cut it open and we'd look. Okay, it's fine.
Right.
My
mom.
Like,
why don't you bite into it open? I'm like, because I remember as a kid, I mean, I had to be like young, maybe like between 6 and 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember getting fruit, and my mom would just like cut it open. That's all she did.
And my mom. It's hard to
but
say.
This day and age, people
my mom would go through the entire bag of my candy, and then she'd say, "Okay, you can eat it." So that's what she did too.
Right, but now they have it to where people inject shit in fruit now, and all kinds of stupid shit.
The thing is, though, I mean, people today are so like extra cautious about shit with their kids. I mean, it's like half the shit that we did as kids, or me specifically, I'm a little older than you. They don't allow you to do anymore. Like I would go outside and run around and play and stuff. And my neighbor friend, she stepped on rusty nails, and sometimes she would and we'd play outside the entire day. We'd be gone the entire day, like 8 hours or whatever, till it was really dark and come home. And nobody ever said, "Oh, they're missing." I mean, we had more freedom. It's like now kids are like in prison. You can't do anything if you're a kid. It's pretty sad, but anyway, I guess it's the world we live in today.
Can you see my comments in the chat room?
No, I don't see you saying anything in the chat room.
I typed something.
Oh, last thing I see is William said, "Huh." It's the last thing I see.
What is going on with mine then? Because I can't see you guys' comments.
Oh, I don't know. It's working on my side, I think. Let me go there and make sure, just real quick. Hold on. Because I have on the console, I have a chat room that shows me the chat room, but I can also go to the actual website and look and see what you guys are seeing. So hold on a second.
Well, see, I want to listen live.
Okay, now it says, okay, No, the last thing I see is William said, huh. That's the last thing I see you saying anything.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
You have
Okay,
to go
it
to
popped
live
up again.
chat. Yeah,
I guess
okay.
I just have to refresh it. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, we can proceed now.
Anywho, so we've got several things to talk about tonight, so we should get started. So, what does he say here? He says, I don't see anything from you. You're typing, Jason. He just now found that he's good now, I think. Things to talk about tonight. We got politics, entertainment news. We've got GLBTQIA news and just general news. And so I thought we'd kind of go do something a little different tonight and do things in segments like a real show would do. and
not our ratchet show where
we're just ramble on. Blah, blah. So we're going to actually, we're going to try to be a little bit organized tonight. So
before we start,
yeah.
Who was that? What was it? Whose song was that you played?
Oh, I was going to mention that. I'm glad you said that. That was Fergie, whom I love, by the way, from her new album, Double Duchess. And I love Fergie. She's been gone for a while. She's been married with Josh Duhamel and everything. They got divorced now and had kids and stuff. And, she's got a new album, and it's really, really good. And I think you would actually like it, Jason. It's actually a really good album. It's kind of a, she's kind of like, kind of a white hip hop chick. You know what I mean? So
it's like pop rap. That's
yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. Yeah, but the whole thing's not like that. She's got soft songs on there. She's got some more standard pop songs or whatever, and she's got more like hip hop stuff. She's got one song she raps the whole way. But yeah, I love the album. It's really good. I've listened to it over and over and over. So
I did like the song that you played, but I don't like Nicki Minaj. I used to be a fan of Nicki Minaj, but now I used to like her a lot, but I don't like her anymore.
Well, it's just one song with her.
But her antics lately have just been just more than I can handle. So I'm not really a fan of Nicki Minaj anymore. But
yeah,
I do like the song though, and I remember her first album was called The Duchess. I think that was the name of the first album.
Right, very good.
That album was amazing.
Yeah. I think this album is equally as good as that album, and I love both of these albums. I think it's really, really good. I mean, she really did. A lot of times, when somebody comes back from a long absence in the music industry, like Madonna does this and other big stars, and they come back and it's been like years since they made an album or whatever, they just kind of call it in sometimes. They're just like, I'll just write some songs and put it out there. People will buy the shit. But this, you can really tell she really put a lot of effort into writing these songs and making the music, and I just love her. She's fantastic. But anyway. So that's Fergie. So anyway, we'll talk about politics. Get that out of the way first. So do you know who Sean Hannity is, right?
Who doesn't?
Okay. So Sean Hannity called AIDS a gay disease and compared homosexuality to playing in a sewer. He said, "I feel sorry for your child," the talk show host told a gay caller. So he was saying this song to a caller or whatever about saying that her kid was gay or whatever and fighting with homosexuality or whatever. And he was saying that basically being gay is basically you're trash, and AIDS is a gay disease. Straight people basically don't get AIDS, and which is all fucking bullshit. And this is the kind of thing. He's of course on Fox News. And he said he called gay people disgusting, compared their sex lives to playing in the sewer, and said he also called homosexuality a lower form of behavior because accusing gay people of being filled with hatred and bigotry. So I wonder if people tell you you're trash.
So this caller called in to Sean Hannity?
Yes. I don't know why they called him.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, this caller's called into the Sean Hannity show. I mean, he's not going to give out words of encouragement.
I know that, but the point is that he even said it and says that AIDS is a gay disease and that gay men or gay people in general are just trash. I mean,
I'm not surprised. It's fucking Sean Hannity.
Well,
I'm not
surprised either. I'm not surprised, but the point is the guy's a fucking douchebag. But I mean, what can you expect when we have the president saying he's something similar and not necessarily harshest words? But I mean, that's what you get. And then there was also a racist guy. Did you see this video? It was all over the internet about this racist guy on the L train in New York City. He was thrown off at the next stop, and he was like on the train, and he was like talking to these people. Sorry about that. He was talking to these people, and he was screaming at this black people on the train, saying nigger, 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 nigger. What are you gonna do? But I'm white in America. You're not gonna do anything about it. I mean, he was like taunting them and calling them the N-word. He was just going on and on and on. And he was an idiot, an asshole, and people were just like fucking like done with this guy. And so one guy was standing in front of him, so he couldn't get this white guy was standing in front of him, blocking him. He's a big guy, so he couldn't get to the black people and behind him who were screaming back at him. And finally, this train stops. At a stop, the doors open, and they push him out. All of them push him out, of white people, black people, everything, onto the platform outside the train. He falls down. He gets up, and this black lady throws hot soup in his face. They're all saying, "Get away! Get away! Get out of here with that shit! Get out of here with that shit! Fuck you, fucking racist! Fuck you, fucking racist!"
It's funny that it's where they were talking to him like he was like a mangy dog, and they were bothering
that's
him.
what it was like, and basically that's what it is.
Go away! Don't stop bothering us.
And I think this is the way. This is awesome. I thought it was awesome. It's on video, and this is the way you deal with a fucking bigot, racist, homophobic motherfucker like that, because that's what you do. And I'm so sick of people who are just like, when they encounter racism or homophobia or whatever in person like that, they don't do anything. They don't say anything. And these people did something about it. And so I'm very happy that they did. I don't know if you would. I sure as hell would do something or say something back to someone who said those things to me.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah, and I wouldn't tolerate it.
Especially using the N-word towards me. I'm like, I'm going to say something. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, anyway, it was just disgusting. I'm
going to be very vocal at that point. So
it's just disgusting. Anyway, and then we have Trump saying the Trump administration was supposed to help celebrate the installation of the Stonewall Inn in New York City as a national landmark. But Trump pulls out. Trump, the administration, pulls out of this ceremony at the last minute and says they will not be participating in it, and said that that they no longer can support or whatever it was. But they said, as long as you don't ever, you never try to fly a rainbow flag on federal property, we won't have a problem. So, yeah.
What the fuck is... okay. That's all I can say behind that. I just... The stuff that he says and does and just... It's like I'm just exhausted at the whole idea now.
Right. I mean,
whatever he does, I'm just like, okay.
I don't even listen to him
So
anymore.
what's for dinner?
I mean, literally, I've never listened to him. Whenever he's been on the television, I literally cannot listen to the man's voice. I just mute it or turn it off, that channel, because I cannot listen to him. I hate him so much, and he annoys me so much that I can't even listen to the man, because that's how much his voice affects me and what he says. But anyway, so beyond that, I'm almost done with politics, so we'll get to the good stuff. Beyond that, as of today, the Sessions, who was the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, passed a law. Actually, what he did was repeal an Obama law, a law by Obama that stated that police could not seize cash or property from people who were suspected of crimes but weren't charged officially. So he had that on the books, and so they repealed that law. So now making it officially okay for the police to seize cash and property from people who are suspected of crimes.
I'll be damned, you ain't taking my shit.
Without being charged. So just under suspicion. So if they come to your door, knock on your door, and say, "We think you've got, I don't know, you're a murderer, or we think you're a drug dealer. So we're going to take all your shit." And now they can legally just do that, because
I'm gonna say, do you have a warrant?
You don't have to have a warrant. That's the whole point. You don't have to be charged. That's the whole point.
I need a sound effect of me slamming the fucking door, because that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah. That didn't work. Let me try something else.
Better yet,
What?
Better yet, I wouldn't even open the fucking door.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying that. So now, basically, the United States of I call it the United Fascist States of America. Now, America with KKK at the end.
Oh yeah, people been saying that. For a while
because
now.
basically that's what we are. We're basically turning into fucking Nazi Germany now, and this is exactly what happened. Basically, this is exactly what happened. I'm not saying this is the same kind of law exactly, but this kind of stuff is what happened when Hitler wanted to take shit away from the Jews and whatever else, and he passed this law. And this is how it all started. And they didn't go to the concentration camps.
Him and Putin are, BFFs. So go figure.
I think they're butt buddies personally, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, so that's the political talk tonight. So
wait a minute. And what's the thing about him with this thing with NBC? I thought he was on good terms with NBC.
Oh, sorry, I forgot
because the show The Apprentice was, he's had the show The Apprentice, but supposedly NBC reported something stuff about him like every other news organization has, and now he's calling NBC fake news, and I'm like, you can't call every news organization fake news just because you don't like it.
He disagrees with them; it's fake news, or he thinks they're saying something
I'm like, if you don't like
him.
or don't agree with it, you consider it fake news. I'm like, dude, they have fucking documented footage of you doing and saying this.
It doesn't matter. This man doesn't think logically or care about logic. But no, he said also beyond that, he said he wants to revoke their FCC license. And then he said he wanted to do it also to the cable networks. Well, the cable networks don't operate under the FCC, idiot. So you can't do anything to them anyway. But he wants to take them away. But this is another thing that Hitler did. He took over control of all of the media, so that everything was propaganda and all you could see was one channel. Basically,
that shit isn't going to go anywhere. He's not going to go anywhere with that. I mean,
well,
he
the
can
FCC
say all that shit if he wants. The FCC ain't going to do
the
a damn thing.
FCC chairman himself said that's not the way it works. That's not going to happen. And he said that, because he said that one of the tenets of our Constitution is freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And
he just says this shit for shock value. He doesn't fact check any of this stuff. He doesn't look at it. He just says shit and expects things to happen. I'm like, dude, you can talk about you're gonna go and do this with the FCC. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. You can't just be president, just go out and just say shit like this. Oh my God, I'm so done with him.
We're talking about Trump. He doesn't give a fuck about the truth. He never has. All he gives a fuck about is winning and, lying. Basically, it's all he fucking does.
Out of all the shit that Trump is, just imagine if Obama did this shit. Like,
he would have been in the
I feel like he would have been impeached already.
Yes, a black man doing this, of course. That's just called white privilege. Anyway, and also wealth privilege. Anyway,
I'm like, I'm so over Trump. Like,
yeah. Anyway, so moving on to entertainment news. Okay, yeah, this like we were saying earlier, this is not a shocker or anything for most people who know about Whitney Houston, but there was an article that said that Whitney Houston was bi/gay, and she had a long-term relationship with her, who was her name?
I think her name was Robin. She was like a tour manager or something.
Yes, Robin. And actually,
they've been saying that for years.
Actually, if you remember, I don't know did you see the Whitney biopic on Lifetime?
Yeah.
She was in there in the thing. They said that they initially were going to make her Robin, or they hinted at the fact of the whole thing that she was that she was gay or lesbian. And she was always around, hanging around. She was always living, whatever. But they never said she was her lover or whatever in the biopic.
Right. They kept saying that they were just best friends or whatever.
Right.
Or whatever.
But that's not what they said. But anyway, the article was saying that they think if she had been able to be herself, and had been openly bisexual or gay, whichever it may have been, then they think that she may not even have died from a drug overdose or whatever, or had gotten into drugs, because they feel that that's part of the reason that she was trying to escape all of her, demons or whatever. And her family, what's her family's name? What's her name?
Her mother?
Sissy Houston. Yeah, Sissy Houston. Yeah. And then her aunt is, what's her name?
I don't know.
What's her face? She had the Psychic Network in the 80s. What's her name?
Oh, Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick, yes. And then her other aunts and shit, they're all extremely religious and extremely anti-gay. And so it was, even though it was open secret to everybody in her, immediate, circle, it was not something that she ever was able to actually come out and be. So I think it's kind of sad, because it kind of proves, even Bobby Brown wrote in his memoir that Whitney Houston's sexuality was an open secret, and that they all knew that she was bi. So,
but any true Whitney Houston fan knows that that's nothing new. That's been out there for years.
It's not the fact that she's gay I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that she had to hide it, and the fact that it may have led to partially be the partial reason that she got into drugs.
That's what I'm saying. That's nothing new to a true Whitney Houston fan.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they've been saying that for years. I mean, it may be new to someone who knows about Whitney Houston but really don't follow her like that. But if you've really been following her career and her life and everything, that's nothing new. That's like when Queen Latifah came out and said that she was gay, and I was like, girl, that ain't nothing new. They've been calling you King Latifah for years.
She never came out as gay, did she? She finally came out?
Yeah, she did.
When?
She came out as gay a few years ago.
Okay. I don't think she ever came out, but officially. But maybe it was like in passing.
She officially came out like a few years ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, everybody always knew she was gay. Just like Rosie O'Donnell, when she was on the Rosie O'Donnell show talking about Tom Cruise, we're like, whatever, girl. We know you're a lesbian. But anyway, Oh, so of course the biggest entertainment news this week, of course, is about Harvey Weinstein, Weinstein, who was the founder of Miramax, which was when I remember in the '90s, it was like a huge. It was kind of started the whole independent film trend in the '90s, and of course now that's a huge industry of its own. But and I love Miramax films; are great. But he's one of the two brothers that started it. And he's been accused by many huge stars of sexual harassment and assault and even rape. And so those include Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie, what's her name?
Wasn't Helen Hunt on the list or something like that?
Helen Hunt, really? I don't think she's on the list.
I mean, no, I could be wrong. I thought I saw her name like skimmed through an article. I could be wrong though.
I don't think so. But I don't know. Rosanna Arquette's on there. Julia Roberts is on there. And then, of course, Rose McGowan. And Rose McGowan today had been tweeting all day about what a scumbag he is the past couple of days, whatever. And she settled out of court in 2007 when she sued him. And the records are sealed, so you don't get to see exactly what actually was being accused. But finally, today, she came out, and she had a gag order on her, and she won a $100,000 settlement from him then. Gag order, she could not speak about anything else. If she did, she could be in trouble. And so after they cut her Twitter off today, when she's talking about it, they cut her Twitter off. Twitter did, which I think is ridiculous. Because Trump can go around. Trump can go around.
Cut hers off, but they leave
Trump. Yes,
up and running.
Trump can go around talking about how fucking people are assholes and homosexuals are disgusting or whatever he says, but she can't say she was a victim of this asshole. So anyway, what happens is she finally came out towards the end of the day and said that she was raped by him. He raped her. And
so I mean, was he doing this? So I mean, were they initially trying to get parts for movies, or
what he would do is he would meet with them. They were usually young ingenues just starting out, whatever. And like Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman or whatever. After that, for her first role after that, whatever. Anyway, so they would go to a hotel. We'd always invite them to a hotel. He'd always invite them to a hotel to go over a script or talk about the movie or whatever. And they'd go, and he'd just be like normal and give them a drink, or they'd talk or whatever for like hours or whatever. And towards the end of the evening, every fucking time with these people, he would say, "Excuse me," and go in the other room, and he would get naked and get in a robe, and it would be open or whatever. And he'd say, "Can you give me a massage or whatever?" And then as it progressed over the years, he would begin to threaten them. If you don't do this, this is all the girls do this. If you don't do this,
so
you're not
pretty
going
much
to get
he almost did a Bill Cosby thing, except he didn't use a pill and he didn't threaten them.
He threatened them with power instead of with drugs. You know what I mean? He used power.
Well, they said that Bill Cosby did that too.
And of course, some of them, I don't know. Some of them may have slept with him, but all of these women said they didn't sleep with him, except for Rose McGowan, who says she was raped by him. He forced himself on her and everything else. And so, anyway.
And I had no idea what this man looked like until like 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, Harvey
Weinstein. This man is severely unattractive.
It's so funny you say that because I was in a gay forum group on one of my many groups I'm on Facebook on, and this guy goes, "Yeah, he's a scum, but he's fucking hot. I'd fuck him." I'm like, "You're gross." It's like he's disgusting.
What?
I know. I guess he's into
bears
but I've heard
some
stuff.
People say that sometimes they find a guy that is so average and so normal, and so disgusting. I actually heard a guy say, he was like, "Oh my god, that guy is so gross. I got to have sex with him."
Okay, that's bizarre.
I was like, what?
I'm sorry. I've never found myself saying, "Oh, you're so revolting. I've got to fuck you." I'm sorry. That's never came out of my mouth. That's disgusting.
Me neither. But I mean, I don't know. Some people, I don't know. Child, don't ask me. I'm just repeating what he said. He said that he found a guy and I was with him. He was like, "Oh my god, he is so gross. I have to have sex with him."
Well, that man's got problems.
He didn't appear dirty, but I think it was just he came off as like a slimy, like a scumbag kind of.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he thought since he was like dirty and slimy and a scumbag, maybe he had a pornographic mind which made sex great or in his mind or something. I don't know.
Sounds like he has issues to me, whoever this person is. Anyway.
And when he said that, I just looked at him with those emoji eyes when they look to the side, like
yeah.
That was me.
I can see that actually. So let's talk about Andy Cohen. That's good news.
Also, Andy Cohen is replacing Kathy Griffin in the New Year's Eve special in New York, which I'm happy for Andy. I like Andy.
Yeah,
But
me too.
he's co-hosting with Andy Cooper. I mean Andy Cooper. I can't talk today. Anderson Cooper. That's what I'm trying to
Right.
say.
Yeah.
But I don't. But honestly, I kind of saw that come because Andy and Anderson are like BFFs.
Oh, they're
So
bad.
it's
Yeah,
like,
they have been for 20 years almost.
yeah. So I mean, I kind of saw that coming when they
Well,
were first searching around for it. And I was like,
I think it's fine. Actually, I was going to get tickets to go to see AC. It's called AC2. It's Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen together on the road, and they go around the country and they talk about various crap, whatever. You talk to the audience, whatever. And I was going to go to that, and it was sold out before I could get tickets. Now the only tickets available are like individual seats, like scattered throughout the fucking place. And I was like, I'm not going to go sit there by myself. I feel weird.
you know who they should have added on there, and I think that would be a
Who?
great addition. Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's about their kind of camaraderie.
I mean, I
but
know,
as far as a
but
panel goes, that's a good idea. I mean, like if you just had like a panel of gay men or something, I think I agree with that. You know,
No,
yeah.
because I mean, because I've seen Don Lemon on TV with a few drinks in his system when he was in New
he
Orleans.
just goes
like
off. I know,
and he was just like, I was like, oh my god, that is so sweet. He was just pouring his heart out on national television, and he was just talking about, oh, I think this is before he started dating his wife. And he was like, oh, I have a good career, but I don't have any. I mean, he was doing this. There's a clip on YouTube. He was like just
I know,
on national television, like, oh, I have a good career, but I don't have anyone to date, and
that's sad.
I just go home every night. I was like, oh, poor thing.
That's sad. Well, it's hard out there for a black gay man. I'm sorry, it's hard. You know better than anybody. It's hard for a black gay man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's harder for a black gay man than it is for a white gay man.
Especially after that scientific study that they did not too long ago.
Which ones? Oh, yeah.
The one that was saying that black men were the least desirable group of people.
Yes, that's based on what people told them. That's ridiculous. That's based on, we talked about that. It's based on prejudice and everything else, but whatever.
Right.
Because that's just not true. I think Don Lemon's a good-looking man, and I think plenty of black men.
He's like 50-something.
Is he that old? No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Well, black don't crack, so it's
Don Lemon is like 50-something. I promise. I think he's like 51, 52. Hold on.
He doesn't look that old. He looks like he's 44 or 45, maybe.
He is. Hold on, I could be wrong. I know he's in his upper 40s. No, he's 51. I knew it.
Wow, that's some good genes there. Some good genes.
Black don't crack.
Lots of that good melanin in your skin. So anyway,
that good melanin. Yep.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, he went to LSU. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, another thing. Talking about
he's taller than I thought too. It says he's 6'1". I thought he was shorter.
Oh, really? Oh. No, he looks pretty tall to me.
I don't know. He appears short, maybe because he's sitting down all the time. But
you can't really judge somebody by what they're sitting down.
Right.
They're high. People always think.
But before, I mean, sometimes when you see a tall person, even when they're sitting, sometimes you be like, oh, they're tall, even when they're sitting because they just appear tall. But he appears short. I thought he was shorter than that.
People always say, people who have met me always think I'm short before they meet me. I don't know if it's my voice. Or...
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Too.
See, people think I'm short. I don't know why, but they just think I'm short, and I'm not. I'm 6 foot tall, exactly, actually. And then in shoes, I'm 6'1". So I mean, it depends on who
I'm actually
ask.
shorter than Donovan people.
What? Yeah. What are you like 5'9" or 10 or something?
I'm like 5'10" and a half.
Okay, but that half. Sometimes you need a half. So sometimes that half.
Well,
when
I have shoes on, I'm probably 5'11".
Okay.
So technically, Donovan is like 2 inches taller than I am.
Okay. Well, that's not short though. Shorts for a man, they consider short to be like 5'7" and under.
5'6".
Yeah, that's.
I dated a guy that I talked to a guy once that was 5'1".
That's like almost I'm not going to say that word. Almost a little person.
he was 5'1", but he was really built though.
Yeah, so
he was like muscular. He was like
What does it matter how tall he is?
No. I mean, no. It was. He's the shortest person I've ever talked to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He was so pretty much the shortest person I dated was 5 foot. Well, talked to was 5'1", and the tallest has been 6'9".
Oh, I had a 6'8" guy once. That was nice too.
Yeah.
He was hot. He was very sexy. That was when I was 20 years old. 20 years old. Yeah. 20 years old. Yeah. 20 years old. Anyway,
And
yeah.
he came in handy for a lot of things. I'm like, oh, can you reach down the top shelf? I can't reach that. He
Right.
came in handy for so many things. But
I just liked him because he was taller than me, and it made me feel small and made me feel like, ooh, you know, it was like hot. It was just, you know, hot because he was bigger, and I just liked it. But I've also dated guys who were shorter than me, you know, and I like that too because I dated short guys, like guys who were like 5'7", 5'8", whatever.
But you know what? Before we move on, I'm gonna let you finish, but then I'm gonna follow up with something after that.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say is I've dated them, and I think they're just fine. And I found that many short guys have big dicks. I don't know what it is, but many short guys have big dicks. They do.
Either they're really thick, or either they're just really
the ones I've had
have
been both thick and long. But anyway,
but here's the thing, though. It's one of my female friends asked me would I date a guy that's shorter, and I was like, yeah. But for some reason, that's a deal breaker for women. Like, I need a woman to I need Kim to call in and explain this.
It's because of what I just told you.
Why is it such a deal breaker?
I just told you, women. Not all women. I'm not going to say all women, but generally speaking, like I said about the guy I dated, his name was Corey. When I was 20, he was 6'8". They like to feel dominated, or not necessarily dominated like bitch get in the kitchen. I mean, like, you know, dominated like, you know, like just bigger, protected, and whatever. And they like that. It's more manly to them. I think it's more masculine of a trait to most women for a guy to be taller.
I mean,
than them.
I've talked to various women, and they've all said it's a deal breaker. Well, the ones I know, they was like, if he's shorter than me, nope.
That's why I'm telling you, it's just like something
I'm like,
programmed
what if he's
into
hot,
them.
though? They're like, nope.
It's programmed into their brains. If he's got millions of dollars, I bet they'll overlook it. But if he's short and just average, they're not going to.
Well, yeah, look at Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's like 5'7".
Tom Cruise, people like that. Yeah, they get all the. Of course, he's good looking. He's a gorgeous guy, but he's short as fuck. But anyway, I mean, and that's the other thing too, though. I mean, when I was dating guys, it was like, for me, and I was kind of, I mean, I wouldn't be like this now, and I wasn't like this towards the end of my singledom, but I preferred guys who were taller to be tops. I preferred guys who were shorter to be bottoms. I was kind of very much in that sort of mindset. But then towards the end of that, I changed my mind because there's plenty of great tops who are bottoms and plenty of great bottoms who are tall. So you don't. I mean, I just think it's kind of stupid to look at people and decide that they're this or that based on how they appear. And the other thing is, sitting down, you can't tell because also, for me, for example, my husband is 6'1", and he has a longer torso than I do, and I have longer legs than he does. And so when I'm sitting in a chair, since my torso is shorter than him, I probably appear, shorter than I am, as opposed to him. He has a long torso, so he appears taller. You know what I mean? And like if we're in the car,
yeah, I have short legs, so
yeah, I have long. I have like teenage.
That's like
legs.
I have a longer torso but shorter legs.
Right. Yeah, I'm the opposite. So anyway, I mean, I'm pretty even. But I mean, if you're gonna put it out there, I'd probably like maybe a few inches shorter at the top than I am the bottom as far as legs and my torso. But anyway, so Eminem does not like Trump. We know that, right?
Right.
Did you hear what you heard about that? You wrote it in here, so.
Oh yeah. So he was on the VH1 Hip Hop Honors, I believe it was. And they did like this freestyle thing. I don't have the audio clip, but the way he was going in on Trump, it was like, I was like, oh my God, like he is officially speaking for everyone. Like he went in on his freestyle. And I don't have the clip, but you may have it, but it was just Google it or YouTube it, just type, Eminem freestyle Trump or something of that nature.
I saw it. It's fucking awesome, especially the lyrics. I mean, they're just fucking awesome, and I loved it. I loved it. If I can just find it, this is it. I think this is it.
I feel
tragedies in East Border would rather cause a Twitter storm with the Packers than says he wants to lower our taxes. Then who's gonna pay for his extravagant trips back and forth with his family, his golf resorts and his mansions? Same shit that he tormented Hillary for and he slandered, then does it more. From his endorsement of banning support for the Klansmen, tiki torches in hand for the soldier that's black and comes home from Iraq and is still told to go back to Africa, fork and a dagger in this racist 94-year-old grandpa who keeps ignoring our past historical deplorable factors. Now if you're a black athlete, you're a spoiled little brat for trying to use your platform or your stature to try to give those a voice who don't have one. He says you're spitting in the face of vets who fought for us, you bastards. Unless you're a POW who's tortured and battered, because to him, you're zeros because he don't like his war heroes captured. That's not disrespecting the military. That.
Fuck that. Anyway, that's not the rapping part, but it's rapping, but it's not the musical part. But I think it's fucking awesome. I think what he's saying is fucking dead on, of course, and it made me cry. Seriously, I was like teared up from that because I thought, wow, I mean, it's great that he's using art and artistry to make this statement. I mean, no one else has really done it that way and been so direct in his face about what he's fucking done. I think it's fucking awesome. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh.
I agree.
Well, then say that. It's a radio show. You have to speak.
No, I was listening to you talk about how you felt about it.
Anyway, I just think it's great. So I applaud him, and I'm not a huge Eminem fan either, but I think that
me
great.
neither. But that made me like him even more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
His looks has changed a little bit. I forgot that it's been like over 10 years. I mean, he's
like,
gotten older.
He's like my age now.
Yeah, but he still looks good though. But I mean, I'm so used to remember when he first came in, he had like the really boyish face with the blonde hair.
I think he still looks pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just saying because he had like the beard, like the beard. I was like, oh, that looks kind of good on him.
He looks all right. He looks all right. I don't know. I mean, I always thought he was good looking. I just never really liked him that much. But anyway,
he was good looking. He just seemed very boyish to me when he first came out. But
I know he's actually also said. I mean, he says in the actual song, he says something about gay people in a positive way. I mean, I can't remember what it was. But he used to be perceived as anti-gay years ago. So I don't know what's changed between now and then, but apparently now.
Well, he did. Well, I think what brought it together was, I remember years ago on the VMAs, like years ago, he did the collaboration with Elton John.
Oh, he did? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a collaboration with Elton John on stage just to show people like, because he was like, I don't know where that even came from. I think he had referenced something in his songs or something like that. I think he used the word faggot or something like that. But he said that he was just expressing it in a song, but that's not how he really felt about it. But since then, and to squash the beef, he pretty much did a song with Elton John. Remember the song he did with Dido?
He did say the word faggot. I remember. There's one of his songs that he says.
Yeah, and he did the song. Remember, Eminem originally recorded a song with Dido called Stan.
I remember Dido.
And, but Elton John at the VMAs sang the chorus to that song.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's probably been close to 10 years ago.
Well,
maybe,
though, I mean, he's like one of those artists that even though I never really liked him that much as a person or whatever, I never doubted his talent. He's a very talented person. He's very talented.
Yeah, he had personal issues when he first came out. Like he was having issues with like his wife, his ex-wife, his kids, and stuff like that. But
you saw that movie, right? What was it called? 8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's sad though, but it's good. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, he's all. I really applaud him because I have not seen any other artists, including Madonna, who's very in your face about stuff, but and like Kanye West or who's apparently up his ass, Trump's ass, I guess. But people are not coming out. People you would expect to come out and actually say "fuck you" to Trump. He literally said "fuck you" to Trump. I mean, over and over in the song. And he's actually come out and just said it, and I fucking love that. If I were a fucking artist,
Kid Rock did it recently.
Kid Rock, awesome. Kid Rock.
Yeah, and trust me, child, I was shocked too when I found out. But obviously, Kid Rock is not like Trump at all.
I thought Kid Rock was, and I'm thinking of who am I thinking of? The guy who's always on his side. I thought it was Kid Rock. Isn't Kid Rock the one that's always on, like, loves Trump and all that bullshit?
No, he can't fucking stand Trump.
Who am I thinking?
There's an audio clip of him talking about saying "fuck you" and all kinds of stuff.
Who am I thinking of? There's a.
You must be thinking of someone else because when I first heard the clip, I was like, I thought Kid Rock supported Trump, but clearly that is not the case.
Oh, I guess I'm thinking of Ted Nugent or something. I think it's Ted Nugent.
Oh, well, somebody like him, I'm not fucking surprised.
I know.
Ted Nugent throws around I feel like Ted Nugent just throws around the N-word all the time.
Because he likes to. Because he loves
just like
it.
David Allan Coe does.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
And come in, that's all I got to say. You can Google that shit. He got songs that got nigger this, nigger that, all up in his song. So, before we go on, I had a roommate in college that was a fan of David Allan Coe. I had to move out because of that shit.
Well, I don't blame you.
Not because like he was cool and he never did anything, but I remember one time we was in the living room and he had the laptop in the kitchen. I'm telling a personal story before we move on. And he was playing just random songs on his computer or whatever. And I was like, just doing my own thing. I think I was on my computer doing emails or whatever. I don't know. It's been a long time ago. But anyway, then the song came on with this like country sounding theme to it. I'm like, okay, well, it's a country song. Never even think of it. Then all of a sudden, this motherfucker talking about a nigger this, nigger that. I'm like, whoa. And then he runs the computer. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to really work if we're really So, needless to say, I moved out shortly afterwards.
Well, I don't blame you, fucker.
Because I'm like, you ain't about to sit there and slice my neck open while I'm sleeping.
Right. Okay. Okay, well, before we move on from entertainment news, there's some other stuff too. We can talk about Will and Grace in a second, but I wanted to say that I told you, I think I've told you before that I love Tom Ford's clothing. I love it.
I love Tom Ford.
And
I love his stuff so much.
If I could look like that every day of my life, dress like that every day of my life, I would. I mean, he's always in the suits. He's always so well coiffed. All his clothes are fucking awesome and beautiful, and just the fabrics are fucking amazing. They're fucking great. Okay, I love them, but how is somebody supposed to fucking afford his clothes? Because even somebody who has a little bit of money can't afford his clothes. You got to have a lot of money to afford his clothes. I mean, to really have a wardrobe. I mean, not just one outfit. I was pricing it the other day, and to have one of his jackets and a shirt and a pair of pants and like socks and shoes and everything else, it was like a $9,000 to $12,000 for one outfit.
I believe it.
I was like,
Tom Ford has some really nice stuff, but that shit is expensive as all hell.
It's too damn high. Too damn high. It is too damn high. I mean, why?
You sound like that guy from New York that was like, rent is too damn high.
That's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it like that. I just fucking, I mean, it pisses me off because most things that I want in my life I can get, but that's one of the things. I mean, I could go buy a shirt for $600, or I could buy a fucking scarf for $400, or a fucking pocket square for $300. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm poor like that. I'd be like, do you have payment plans?
I mean, even still, it would take me. I added it up. If I wanted to buy everything I wanted, I went to NeimanMarcus.com and I put in a cart everything I wanted from Tom Ford's line, and it was like, I think it was $62,000 or something. $56,000, and it was like I had 10 out.
That's like a car.
I know, and that's for one season. One season. So if I wanted to have a different like something for every season, I'd have to have that times 4. I mean, for every year. So you've got to be a millionaire.
So you'd be spending roughly about $200,000
on clothes a year. I'm like, hell no. And so if you have
Beyonce money, that would work.
I started to say you have to be a millionaire or a billionaire to be able to afford to have a true
Beyonce, Jay-Z, those type of people,
Yes, and so I'm not one of those, unfortunately, but I never will be, but still, I wish I were.
Remember, Jay-Z says in his own song, he says he rocks Tom Ford. So.
Well, he's good. That's good. Good for him, because he's got good taste then. Anyway, okay, so I watched Will and Grace tonight. It was great. Are you talking about tonight's episode or what?
No, William wanted us to go over last week's episode because we didn't go over it. I haven't seen tonight's episode because I literally just was ripping and running and didn't get around to it. I'm going to watch it after the show ends.
Okay.
But I did watch last week's episode.
And?
I love it. I do like the fact that it wasn't so politically charged like it was.
Blah, blah, blah. That's such a soundbite now.
No. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong.
I'm tired of hearing people say that over and over. I'm so glad the second episode wasn't so political. It's always been fucking political. It's never been anything else. It's always been like that. I'm so sick of hearing that. Just go on.
No, that's all I want to say. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm just saying what other people were saying, which is they thought it was a little politically charged.
Well, so what?
But the second episode was just strictly more comedy. I mean, listen, I'm going to watch regardless. So
yeah. Well, this week's episode, I won't tell you what happens. I won't tell you what happens. But this week's episode, we find out what's happened between when we left Will and Grace 10 years ago. And now with Grace and her ex-husband, played by Harry Connick Jr., Leo. So we find out what's happened between them, and now he comes back in the picture, and so it's pretty interesting. But anyway, but yeah, I love the show. I just love it. I'm so happy they're back, and of course, Karen's fucking hilarious as ever, and I love Jack. I mean, I love Will. I'm just fucking awesome. It's just one of the best shows ever on TV. I love it.
Have you listened to Harry Connick Jr. talk like when he's not acting?
Yes, I watch his talk show, Harry, all the time, and I watch
that. He sounds like if you close your eyes. I would swear I listened to a black man speak.
He is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. What do you expect?
I know, but there was one clip. He was on some show, and he was in Australia, and these people came out doing this. It was like a competition show, and they came out in blackface.
Oh,
and he was like, "That does not rock well with people in America."
Oh,
and
no.
I think the host ended up apologizing because they do that type of shit in Australia. No offense to Australians, but that's how y'all roll. But I was like, this man sounds just like a black man. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, you got a little bit of soul in your voice. Okay.
I think I've always thought he was sexy. Some people think he's weird looking, and he's kind of offbeat looking.
No,
I think he's sexy.
I would fuck Harry Connick Jr. in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. If he were gay, absolutely. Fuck yes. And he's tall. Like I said, he's tall, and he's like dark and handsome. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm all about that. All right, moving on to GLBT news. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see this about the gay shop owner who throws out the Christian bigots out of his store?
No, I didn't hear about this.
Okay.
Where did this happen?
Well, it's very short. So listen, here's the clip. This guy is gay, and he owns an Indiana pizza shop called Memories Pizza. And there is this a couple of right-wing Christians in his store, and I think they're wearing like a Trump, Make America Great Again cap or some shit. And they're talking.
And you said this was in Indiana?
This is in Indiana, in his store. This is what happened. It's like 2 minutes long. Oops, sorry. Hold on. Gotta unmute it.
I'm gay. Okay. You have to leave.
So are you denying us service?
I am, yeah.
So why aren't we allowed to stay? Because
this is offensive to me. I own the place.
Was
I have a right to be offended. Yeah. So I have a right to say.
Did anyone buy anything in the store?
I didn't.
No.
I haven't looked anything.
So where did this come from?
That came from outside the store.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a lot of us in the city. I didn't leave anything in your store.
So something you found on public property.
I saw
Shut up. You just admitted to it being you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
shut up.
What about it offends you? Okay.
There's nothing else you can say.
So,
this is you.
So we're not welcome here.
I do not want these people in this place.
So you're not willing to tolerate our presence?
Extremely offensive. Can you tolerate my presence?
We are.
Right, we're actually in the coffee shop.
Really? If I go get my boyfriend right now and fuck him in the ass right here, you're going to tolerate that? That would be your choice. Are you going to tolerate it? It's your place. Answer my fucking question. No, you're going to sit right here and fucking watch it.
Well, no, I mean, we don't want to
watch
then
that. I don't have to fucking tolerate this.
Well, that's true. I mean, you
then leave. All of
Anyway, so that's what happened.
I love that. Kudos to the owner.
I'm so happy because people are like, the right wingers are like crying foul about it. They're like, oh, this is so wrong and blah, blah, blah. And how dare you? It's so funny. They're so immune to the hypocrisy of it all. The fact that, it's okay for them to like have a baker not bake you a cake or throw you out of their shop because you're gay. But when a gay person does it to you, it's not fair because you're violating their religious liberties or freedoms. That's what they say.
Or church and state or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
It's ridiculous. But anyway, I was just happy about it because I love it. Oh my God, I would have just been so gleeful if I had been there.
They recently did the same thing to Issa Rae when she was at the was it not the Emmys? What's the recent the Academy? I don't know, whichever one, I can't remember. But they did the same thing to Issa Rae just a few weeks ago.
The Emmys, you mean?
Yeah, when they were on the red carpet and the reporter asked Issa Rae, they said, "Who are you rooting for tonight?" And she said, "I'm rooting for everybody black."
What's wrong with that?
And Twitter and social media just went up on rampage.
God forbid!
How could you?
God forbid she support her own people. Oh
I mean, she was just like she said, and even the way she said it, she was like, "Yeah, I'm rooting for everybody black." And then the woman chuckled and she was like, "No, I'm serious."
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then social media just fucking lost it. They're
Well,
like,
think about
she's
it.
racist. And
Think
I'm like,
about it, Jason. What if it was reversed and she were white? She went in there and she said, "I'm rooting for everybody white." That would consider that racist.
well, just because, with the track record that the Academy has when it comes to black people being nominated for
I understand.
awards.
I get it. Yeah, but I'm saying
But
that's why they think that way. But I mean, so I understand where they're coming from. But I think it's stupid. Like, she's not a racist, and it's stupid for them to say that based on what you just said. It's based on the fact that the fucking Academy rarely has, out of all the people who win, it's usually white people. So that's what she's talking about, right?
yes, you're right.
Okay. All right. I talked about last week real quick. I just want to go over this real quick. Last week, a guy who intentionally infected, I think I talked about this last week, infected several victims with HIV in England, and he was poking holes in the condoms. And
Oh, yeah. You did talk about this.
well, he's been arrested now and everything, and he's actually going to trial. And so just wanted to say, people, if you're out there, be careful who you have sex with. Okay, so as we end the show, we're going to end with the general news, then we'll end with the final thoughts. Okay, so you know who Scott Peterson is, right?
Of course.
Okay. Scott Peterson, whom was convicted of murdering his pregnant wife in like 2004 or whatever.
Yeah, Lacey Peterson.
Lacey Peterson, right? And everybody, the media crucified him at that time because he was had been having an affair with this other woman. And therefore, I guess that means you murdered your wife. Anyway, so despite all the evidence, there was no evidence at all that he had murdered her. None. Never. And so anyway, I watched this thing a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago maybe, about, it was called The Case of Lacey Peterson or something like that. And it was like a miniseries, like about a 5 or 6 part miniseries. And it was all about the Scott Peterson case and about the stuff you didn't hear in the trial and the things that happened. Anyway, long story short, I and my husband and everybody who's ever seen it that I know does not believe that he murdered his wife. There's no way. We think we know who did it, but you have to watch it. It's fucking awesome if you're into that. I know you're not, Jason, but somebody else might be.
I like Crime Stoppers show. I watch First 48 and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's on. I can't remember what channel it was on. It was on A&E, I think. A&E.
Oh yeah, I love watching A&E.
Yeah. Anyway, it's on there, and so it's like a mini series, or you can get it on iTunes or whatever. But anyway, it's totally worth it, and if you watch it, you'll totally change your mind. But our friend, I should say, Kimberly, who calls in occasionally to the show, was saying the other day when I mentioned this, she said, "Oh, I can't stand him, his smug ass," or something like that. He deserved everything he got. I was like, well, do you really know what happened? Do you know what happened? Or are you just going by what the media said? Because you can't trust the fucking media, especially not Nancy Grace, that fucking bitch, who's a fucking.
I used to like her at one point. I don't
Ooh,
like her
not
anymore.
I don't like her at all anymore. She's not concerned with the truth. She's concerned with ratings. Okay, that's all she's concerned about. But anyway, they talk about her part, her role in this too. Anyway, so I told her to go watch this, and it will change her mind. So anybody else do the same thing. So anyway, he's getting a new trial. He's after being on death row all these years, finally, and this was his last chance, and he deserves one. So I hope he gets off from this. Okay, next we'll talk about the fact you want to talk about Dove apologizes for a soap ad.
Dove, yes, the soap company. So, Dove came out with this commercial, and pretty much social media took it as offensive because they had, their normal soap ad, and then they started with a African American girl, and she took her shirt off, and when she took her shirt off, she turned into a white woman.
Oh, that's bad.
They got the thing as if
that's bad.
People took offense,
dirty.
Took offense as if she was dirty and that type of thing. But this isn't the first time Dove did this. They actually had a photo that's circulating online.
Yes.
They had this thing called Before and After, and it started with an African American woman, and above her it said the words before, and then there was a woman in the middle, a lighter complected woman, then there was a white woman at the end, and above the white woman it said after. So people are just like, okay, why does Dove keep doing this? But here's my thing, though. Clearly, when they approve this stuff, they must not have anybody black on their team, or anybody, or not even, or just a person of color. Because trust me, a person of color would have been like, hold on, that is not going to look right. Like if I was on their team, I'd be like, hold on, that is not going to look right.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, clearly, all these executives and shit that approve this shit must be all white. Well, they have to be.
That's the problem, Jason. That's the problem.
I'm thinking to myself, I was like, even when they did the thing, when they showed the there's a video, you can go on YouTube, and it starts with a black woman. She takes her shirt off and she turns white. I was like, how is this black woman gonna take her shirt off, and then she turns white? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with before and after, you start with the dark skinned woman and say before, and then you get to the white one that says after, as if before and after you use our product. It's like,
yeah.
See, these corporations, they need to hire some black people, or just a person of color. Like, all these people that are proving all this shit, trust me, they're all white people.
Yeah, they are. That's the problem, Jason. There's not enough representation in media, in entertainment, in any sector of the economy, or the business or whatever, or politics, people of color, because it's all stacked to one side. It's, like 90% of every sector, pretty much, almost every sector, except for sports, obviously, and entertainment industry in general, is stacked almost 90% white people. And that's why we have so much racism, because you don't have enough representation of black people, Hispanics, Asians, or whatever in America. And if we were to change that, that would change the whole conversation, and people would have more power to actually be part of the conversation. Even like in fucking Congress and shit like that. That's what Kerry Washington was talking about this from Scandal on The View the other day, saying that if we had, the right representation of women and the right representation of people of color in Congress, then all the shit that's going on right now would not be happening with people, the racism and all this kind of bullshit, because we would have people to keep checks and balances on it. But no, it's all weighted to one side, all white people. And look, I'm half white. I love white people. But I'm also half black, so I like black people too. So I see both sides of the coin, people, and it is just not right. And so people need to have equal representation. And why is that so fucking hard to believe? The problem is they don't want to give up the power that they've obtained after all these years. And that's why
That's exactly what it is.
We have so much pushback, especially people like Trump and people who love him, because they don't want to give up the white supremacy. That's what it is white supremacy that this country has had since forever, because they had slaves over here and didn't allow anybody else to come up until 400 years later. So, of course, they had supremacy.
Well, I mean, there's always some random white person. I hate to say it, but it's true. There's always some random white person that, when some video comes out of some, African-American person being unfairly treated by the police, there's always someone that says, oh, if he just would have done this, it would have been okay. Oh, if he would have never walked away, then this would have never happened. Oh, if he would have, put his hands up when he was supposed to, he would have never got shot. Like,
if it had been a white guy,
all the time.
If it had been a white guy in the same situation, they never would have said any of that shit. None of it.
Right.
None of it.
Even like when the guy that was the guy in Baton Rouge that was, shot and killed by the police officer.
Right.
They was like, oh, if he wasn't fighting him, he would never got shot. Okay, yeah, he was wrong for fighting them, but they didn't deserve to shoot him.
He doesn't deserve to die when he's unarmed.
Right. Or even with Philando Castile that in Minnesota, they were just like,
yes.
Oh, if he didn't reach for anything, he would have never been. I was like, are y'all serious with this shit?
Yeah, they are serious. That's what's scary. Yes, they are serious. Yes.
I was like, the police officer told him to grab his license, and he did, and he got shot for grabbing something that he was told to grab.
It's because they don't look. They do not look. I mean, you know this as well as I do. They do not look at black people as equals. They look at black people as less. They would never necessarily say that, most people, but they look at black people as less than, and therefore they're not as worthy of the same consideration that a white man or white woman would receive in the same situation. That's what they think. I mean, it's probably subconscious for most people who are like that, who are racist in that way. But even it's like my my husband's cousin. Her name was Rachel, and I haven't talked to her in years, and this is one of the reasons why. All that stuff started with the Black Lives Matter movement after the shootings and stuff and everything were going on so prolifically. She kept saying her husband's a cop in Waco. And she kept saying, so she was on my Facebook page, whatever, and I was on hers, and she was going on and on about, how these people were wrong for doing this, and Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, kind of bullshit. Completely missing the point of the whole fucking thing. It's that Black Lives Matter is not about.
So I would have told her also. So the next time a black person gets shot and killed, I'm going to see you at the rally, right?
Right. Exactly. And that's of course the point I was making. And she kept saying that all cops are good cops. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, they're not.
And I went off on her. I went off on her and told her, I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me that you think that that every cop is a good cop when they shoot people in
Well,
the back.
that's
Let me
easy for her to say.
finish.
She's
Let me finish. That they shoot people in the back of the fucking head when they're running away from them and they're unarmed, and you really fucking think that they are to blame or that they are somehow a good cop for doing that. And so ultimately I told her in the end, I said, look, you are just some white Southern woman from Waco, Texas, who has no fucking idea what it's like to be marginalized in America. You have no fucking idea what racism is. You have no fucking idea what homophobia is. You are a white heterosexual woman living in Waco, Texas. So don't tell me what the fuck is up. You don't fucking know. And that's exactly what I told the fucking bitch. And then I haven't talked to her since. So anyway.
Well, I'm glad you did because you pretty much said the same thing I said, which is like she's, a white woman in America who's probably never faced discrimination a day in her life.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
And that's another thing. I hate it when certain individuals like her try to speak for all races. I'm like, so are you the spokesperson for every fucking body?
I know. Well, then they think every black person or any person of color is the representation of everybody in their race too. It's like they think, oh, so do black people like this, or do Hispanic people like this?
People have asked me that before. Oh, do you think black people like this? I'm like, well, what the fuck are you asking me for? I'm like, personally, I don't like it, but I can't speak for the next person.
That's like asking does a rat like what a dog likes to eat or whatever. I mean, it's like how the fuck do you know they're completely different species? People are different. Every black person is different from another black person, and so forth. People aren't the same just because of their race, color. Color's nothing. But anyway, you know that. But anyway, so and then my birthday that year. This is like I guess 3 years ago. It was my 40th birthday actually, so it's like 2.5 years ago. My husband's niece, whom I was close to. She was here and they were visiting for my birthday, and they were talking about racial and stuff. I was saying, I'm not going to talk to the bitch again. I'll fuck her, blah, 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 whatever, because she was just being a bitch. And so then she says, but you said she was a Southern white woman. I go, she is a Southern white woman. She's a Southern white woman from Waco, Texas, who has no idea what racism is. Is that not true? And I said, I'm sitting there surrounded by all white people. I said, and I'm the only person who has any kind of, racial distinguished something different about me racially. And I'm like, I said, none of you understand what it means to be like me, because all of you are white people who grew up in Southern America in Texas, and you're all white, and all of you are heterosexual except for Michael and Ken, my best friend. And I said, so you don't fucking understand the distinction between being one race, being white, and being part black like I am. So there's a huge difference in experience in this country for someone like me than you do. And then so I was trying to tell her was that she is somebody who would never understand. And they got it, I guess, eventually, but they were pissed off at me. His family was because of that. I was like, and then I got pissed off at them. Like, you don't fucking understand, so fuck you. So I just get the point. I get exasperated with people like this because it's like they have so much privilege, they don't understand the difference.
Right. And there's a lady, I don't know if I've said this before on the show in the past or not, but there's a lady by the name of Jane Elliott. Have you heard of her?
I love Jane Elliott. Yes, she's old.
Yes,
yeah.
she does. For anyone who's not familiar with her, she was a school teacher.
Right.
And she was teaching her white students about
social studies.
Race in the 60s, because she was like in the 60s, 50s, and 60s and so on.
50s, 60s, yeah.
And then later on, years later, she started doing these experiments with white adults, to see what it would feel like to be discriminated against based on the color of their eyes, but they were doing it as if it was like the color of their skin or something like that. And there was one clip where this girl freaked the fuck out because she just refused to apologize. She was like, well, you need to apologize for doing what you did. She was like, I'm not apologizing. She was like you just have to watch it. Like, she has a few videos on YouTube, and
yes,
it is amazing. Like, people just flip out and walk out and yell and scream, and then the black people just like, this is what we go through every day.
Yes, exactly. It's like nothing new.
So, and they were just like, for some reason, it's killing her. She just does not want to apologize for some reason. I don't know why, but she just doesn't. I mean, it's very educational and very it's definitely something that you would definitely educate yourself on. Yeah. So I suggest everyone watches it.
I agree. Okay, before we go, quickly, let's talk about the Banana Republic manager.
Yes, so there was a manager that was fired after she suspended a black employee for wearing braids and says that her hair was quote unquote too urban for the
Right.
store or whatever.
Right.
So the 19-year-old, her name is Destiny Tompkins. She was suspended by the manager of her place of employment for wearing box braids to work, which box braids is pretty much like the thicker, long braids, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
The manager said that they were too urban and unkept for Banana Republic's image. Now, here's the thing. Oh, wait, let me read on. It says the manager said that he refused to schedule her if she didn't remove the braids, so she walked out and put the store on blast via Facebook. Here's the thing with this. Now, supposedly, I'm assuming that she changed her hair at some point while she was employed with them. That she has a picture of her braids on social media, whatever. They just like braids. They're not anything that's crazy or unkept or anything like that. I like them. I think they look nice.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't understand why.
Well, do you think, Jason, that they would have allowed a white woman to have braids?
Yes.
So you think if she were white and this woman had them like Pippi Longstocking?
Because they would be like, it's so exotic and it's so different and you're being so chic and that type of thing.
Whatever. Okay.
But it's because listen, black people wear. There are white people who wear quote unquote black hairstyles.
Yeah.
And they never get flack like that. It's always like, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. And how did you get a white fro like that? And how did you twist your hair like that? But then when black people do it, which they've been doing it for years, and it's like, why are you wearing that ugly shit? How did you take that out of your fucking hair? I remember when I worked at a casino.
Yeah.
I worked at a casino when I was in college, right? I had the meanest bitch of a supervisor where I just didn't like that bitch at all. She was a fat, nasty pig bitch. I hated her. And and back then I had really long hair and I used to keep it braided. She was like, you're gonna take those you have to take those braids out of your hair. I was like, well, let me go to HR first, see what HR says. And then if they say something, then I may do something about it.
Right.
At the time, I was only making like $10 an hour. I'm like, I'm not taking my fucking braids out for $10 an hour. Are you kidding me? I would quit this bitch before I do that.
Yeah.
She was like, well, it's and the thing is, I was like, well, no one else has a problem with it. I said the general manager doesn't have a problem with it, so why the hell do you have a problem with it? And then I'm working, girls coming here with all these different colors in the hair, but you worried about my fucking braids, bitch, please. So I went to HR, and the lady in HR was like, no. She was like, why did she was like, I'm getting the feeling she's picking on you. Why does she keep picking on you? I was like, that's a good fucking question. So I ended up having they ended up calling a meeting with her and HR, and they were just like, well, his hair is fine. I don't know why why you say it's an issue. She's like, well, it needs to be more professional. She was like, well, what is professional? I just love the HR person. She was like, well, what do you consider professional? That's right. She's like, it needs to be kept. She was like, he has it kept. It's braided.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So she was just giving me a hard time. And then because of that, when my annual came around, she didn't give me a fucking she didn't even give me a fucking raise to that old hateful bitch. So, and I think shortly afterwards I quit anyway. So, and then it turns out shortly after I quit, her ass got fired for doing some scandalous shit. So fuck you. So.
Well,
hateful bitch. I think she was racist too. And the thing is, and then before we go, then her son came in and worked in fucking HR as an HR generalist. He had no HR experience, okay? And he coming in making there $50,000 a year, and you got people with college degrees and in college, and we here making $10 an hour. I said, you got the and like you went through some hoops to get your son that job making $50,000 a year as an HR generalist. I'm like, he ain't got no fucking experience. The last thing he did, he was a manager at Burger King. Get the fuck out of here. We know exactly what happened. You shook some hands with some white people and got him that job. Let's get out. Let's be real. But anyway, I'm just tapping back into 2003. But go
on. Last thing was you were talking about the KKK attempts to recruit members at North Carolina high school football game.
Yes. Oh, so here's the thing with that. So everyone's at a football game. Everyone's enjoying the high school football game or whatever the case may be. And some asshole thought it would be a wonderful idea to try to just be like, oh, this would be the perfect time to recruit people to join the KKK. Why the fuck would you do that at a high school football game? So what they did was they had flyers and they put it on as many cars as possible, wanting people to join the KKK. So pretty much it said, I'm trying to find exactly what it said. Okay, so it looks like they don't have exactly what it um read on the flyer, but pretty much they were recruiting people to join the KKK, and like they said, pretty much everyone threw it away, and because one was like, well, it promotes racial inequality, and that's not what I teach my children, and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. I'm starting to think, was it truly a person of that, that a KKK member that did this, or was this like a prank? Because I think about that because this is a high school,
Yeah.
so
Well, regardless, it's still poor taste.
I mean, it's still wrong either way.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it
but
is. But that's a good place to recruit people as a young, impressionable high school student. That's a good place to do it. I mean, that makes sense. So, I guess it's good for their recruiting efforts. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, and then something else happened in North Carolina. I forgot to bring this up. So there was a white family who adopted a black teenager, right? And he's a high school student. I think that he had been living with them for years, but this is like in his teenage years now. He's like 16, 17 now. So he's been living over there for years. For some reason, his fucking neighbors didn't know that this black child lived over there with a white family.
Yeah.
So something happened to where he lost his key to get in the house, and his mom was like, well, go around to the back, and I left the key for you to get in under the mat in the backyard.
Yeah.
So for him to get to the backyard, he had to climb the gate. Okay. We already know where this is going, right?
Yes.
So while he's doing this, a neighbor calls the police and says that someone is breaking in the house.
Of course.
And then when the police get there, he's in the house. They come in with guns drawn, saying, who are you? What are you doing in this house? Yada yada yada. He said he said, I live here. They did not believe him because there was some photos. I think there were some photos of him with the family, and then some photos of him without him and with the family. And I guess a police officer looked at the nearest photo and they didn't see him in it, so they thought he was lying.
How old was this kid?
I think he was 16 or 17.
Well, doesn't he have a driver's license then?
Yeah, but they didn't even let him get that far. I mean, would you try to reach for your license and they got a gun pointed at you?
Oh, they had a gun.
Especially in this
They had a
day
gun
and age.
pointed at it. Well, see, this happened to me years ago. My alarm went off, and I was sleeping, and my alarm went off for some reason, and I thought somebody was in the house because there was must be anybody home or whatever, and it goes off as woo woo like whatever. I turn the alarm off, and I'm silent, and I'm like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? This is like 10 years ago, and I walk into the hallway, and there is a cop standing there in the hallway. I mean, they got there that fast. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, oh, God, you scared the shit out of me. And then I turn around, and there's a cop coming from the back door from the master bedroom at the time into the hall behind me on the other side. I was like, oh, fuck. And then they go, we need to see some ID that you live here because your alarm just went off. I was like, okay. So I got the ID, and I showed them the ID. I said, okay. And that was it. It was pretty simple. But they didn't have guns on me, though. I mean, why?
No, they had a gun drawn on him.
I guess it's reported that it was being broken in. That makes sense. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think supposedly, I guess the black teenager talked him into some. Who the hell is this?
The black teenager talked him into what?
The black teenager, I guess, talked him into like at least showing his ID or something like that. So he showed his ID, and then I guess the police officer still had his doubt. So he said, well, call this number. She's going to answer. So he called. Thank God he had, his mom's number memorized, cell phone number memorized. So the police officer calls the mom. The mom races home, and she was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is my son. And then when she comes in there, they're like, oh, okay, well, we got to report that, someone's breaking in. And she was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. She's like, he's been living here for years.
Well, I don't think it's the cop's fault in that situation. I think it's the neighbor's fault.
Well, it is the neighbor's fault. But it's like, how can you live across the street from a neighbor for years and you don't know that they have an adopted son?
Honey, I live across the street from neighbors. I've never been inside their house or have a fucking clue what they look like. So, yeah, it's not uncommon. Trust me. It is not uncommon.
Well, that's the same thing with me when I was traveling on a road trip and somebody called the police on me because they said I was out behind McDonald's trying to pick up a sack of money.
What?
I never told you this story.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the story and then we can go.
Okay.
But
I was on a road trip. Before you start, William wanted to know what casino you worked at.
I worked at Hollywood Casino.
Okay, go ahead.
In Tunica, Mississippi.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, he said he worked at Horseshoe. Yeah, I used to drink a lot at the end of my shift at Horseshoe and gamble. But anyway, so I was on a road trip and I don't know where I was going. I was going somewhere. I can't remember. But anyway, I was on a road trip and I stopped at a McDonald's to get something to eat. And I decided to dine in since I was traveling. I was like, okay, well, I'll eat inside. I was with a friend, and I'll eat inside. And we was in my car, but he was driving. So I was like, okay, well, we're gonna go inside and eat. And then he went in the car. He got in the car first, and I came shortly. I like went to go use the bathroom or something like that. And I walked around because the way they had it to where this is like an older McDonald's, so like the
Yeah.
bathroom was like outside the restaurant. It was like it's like separate.
Yeah.
So I ended up using the bathroom and I ended up walking outward to do something. I walked out in the field to do something. I don't remember what I did. Anyway, long story short, I get back in the car and I guess someone called the police and said that my car matched the description of someone picking up a sack of money in the fucking field. So then by the time I get on the highway, I get pulled over by the state police.
Oh my god.
Okay. And they were just like, they're on their little, bullhorn or microphone or whatever the fuck.
Oh
And
my
they was like,
God.
can you step out the car? And I was like, for what? Well, I didn't say for what. I just got out the car. And he was like, oh, well, somebody said that, somebody matched your description, went out in the field and picked up a bag of money. And I was like,
What was the description? Blackmail?
I'm pretty sure.
That's probably all it was. Blackmail.
And they just saw I got some black guy just
Right.
walking around and just, oh my god, he picked up a sack of money. I didn't have anything in my fucking hands. So I mean, they questioned me for like 15 minutes. They questioned my friend. They were just asking all kinds. Well, where are you heading to? This is another thing. When you get put over, why do they always want to know where the fuck you're going? As if that makes the situation any better.
I guess to see if you're gonna lie. I don't know.
So I was just like, well, we're
They
on a
do
road
always
trip.
ask that though. They do ask that. You're right.
It's so fucking annoying. Like, I don't know what that has to do with me getting pulled over, but pretty much, long story short, they let me go, and they were just like, oh, well, someone, and then they told my friend, they was like, well, reason we stopped you is because someone matching this vehicle and this description was seen picking up a sack of money. I was like, well, you can search this car. I'm like, we don't have any money in here, no more than our own money. So yeah, so pretty much after all that, they let us go, and it was like, oh well, we're just doing our job, which I understand they're just doing their job,
Right.
but because if they didn't respond, then that's on them. But
Right.
yeah,
Right,
so
right.
it was just crazy though, and
That
I
is
was
crazy.
like, really, over a bag of fucking money? Even if I did pick up a bag of fucking money, I wouldn't have told you bitches.
Well,
I would
yeah.
have stuffed it in my suitcase. Or
Obviously,
something.
I think they know that you wouldn't have told them, but yeah, I know. Anyway, all right. Well, that is our show.
And
for
I was in
tonight.
Texas, believe it or not.
Everybody.
That's where I was. I was somewhere in Texas.
course
I
you
don't-
were.
It wasn't anywhere close to here.
Where else would you be? Of course, it'd be Texas. God, I know. William, thank you for listening to the show tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. All you other listeners who listen to the show later, when after this is in archives, thank you for listening as well. Be sure to follow us on Spreaker.com, also on Gayxyz.com on our website, of course. And then be sure to check us out on Facebook. Be sure to like our page on Facebook. There's a group on Facebook as well. We're trying to get people to join
Did you
that.
say Groupon?
A group on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Groupon. Like,
What would the Groupon
like
be
the
for?
app.
1 hour
A
with
website.
Jason. 1 hour with Jason in the bedroom. I don't know what that would be for, but anyway. So we'll be back next week. It'll be the 19th, I think. Is that right? Yeah, the 19th of October. And we'll see you guys then. And by the way, check out Jason at...
I am on Instagram. My name is Fire and Ice 17. That's Fire and Ice 17.
Yes, and you can find me at offlimitshow.com as well as donovanlord.net. So thanks for listening. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks. Stay gay.